idea the amount of ignorant mess we're about to get into right now.
Sit your $5 ass down before I make change.
Hello and welcome to a brand new episode of Black on Black Cinema. I'm your host, Jay. I'm here with my co-host, Micah.
Hey.
And Tiara.
Hello.
All right, guys. This is episode 201, the 40-year-old version, written, directed, and starring Radha Blank. I'll give the log line for this, or the sort of the general premise, which is it is loosely based on Blank's own life. The film sees playwright Radha Blank, who is also a teacher, who turns to rapping when she finds herself nearing her 40th birthday. All right, I will start with Tiara, the person who is the furthest away from 40. What did you think of
That's
this
funny,
movie?
because I was going to ask y'all about how y'all related to it.
Oh, we'll get there.
40s.
By the way, this is a review of the 40-year-old version. You can watch this movie on Netflix. I understand that you wanted the movie. The title of this has the word review in it.
Wouldn't people understand that if they
No.
saw three people?
No, they
Like-
get mad.
Yo,
They get
that's
mad.
wow. Anyway, I love this movie. So I will be turning 30 soon. And
You're not even 30 yet?
no,
God.
I know. It's disgusting, isn't it?
Jesus.
These people still exist in the world. It's crazy.
yeah. So it is. I don't like, okay, I was watching and I was thinking like, dang, I hope this is not me in 10 years where I peaked basically in my 20s. So basically now, shout out to Kevin Samuels. And just
You got like 9 minutes before you're useless.
right. And then go through my 30s basically trucking along trying to find the next big thing. Like,
Right.
I think there's always this pressure to try to do big things when you're young, but not understanding that in your 20s it's a very transitional time from being 20 or even 25 to almost 30. And I can't imagine the kind of pressure I would try to feel as probably an adult. I would assume that maybe in my 30s or late 30s, I'll probably start feeling even more like myself, probably more so than I do now. And I would not want to be in a position where I have to feel pressure to kind of live up to the expectations people had of me when I was younger and still trying to figure stuff out. I thought this movie was hilarious. It was actually funnier than I thought it would be. I thought Radha Blank's just facial expressions, the way that she looks at the camera with that one dude or whatever, the situations she deals with when she has to kind of compromise herself when dealing with white people who claim that they want to be diverse and equitable and inclusive, but they actually just stomp all over your dreams and your voice and your vision, and you just want them to kind of just shut up and let you do your job. I don't understand why it is so hard for them. I'm sorry, Micah. I just saw your face.
Hey.
But
Let it out.
Yeah. This
I just
movie
like-
becomes very personal for you. I get it.
I just like, I understand where she's coming from when white people think they have an idea of what Black people go through, especially Black people in a certain area, and they question the authenticity when they don't even know the first thing about it.
Right.
So yeah, loved it. Great job. It was probably a little too long for me though. Probably could have been shorter. But yeah, I guess 4 out of 5 if I had to give it a score.
Okay. Micah, your thoughts? You old.
Yeah, I'm in lockstep with you, Tiara. It was way funnier than I thought it would be. And I love Radha Blank. I love this woman. Like, she has just the one of the more down to earth personalities. Like I want to hang out with this woman, right? Like, and she's playing a version of herself, which is way more difficult than you would think, because you're thinking about how you naturally act. But it comes off as very effortless for her. This is her feature film debut. I see influences of She's Gotta Have It. I see influences of Hollywood Shuffle. This is a movie that I've seen before, so I feel like I'm always just one step ahead of the movie. But it's done very well, and I agree it might be a little too long, but I don't think there was a lot of wasted screen time, if that makes any sense. Like, I don't know what I would have cut. Because everything is like, I'm looking at it now, even in the beginning, like these kids who also, well, they're probably not kids. They're probably like in their, mid to late 20s.
Yeah.
But
they're 40 as well.
Right. But they do a really good job, and they seem authentic in terms of being kids in a New York public school. Like we have a friend who is a teacher in the New York City public school system, and the way she describes her kids are exactly how these kids act. And
I can see that. Yeah.
And yeah, so everything about this, from like the realism to the surreal to the slight surrealism, is hidden. I was in a bit of a crummy mood when I started watching it, and this movie pulled me out of it. And I love it. I love this movie. This movie's amazing. This movie's a 5 out of 5 for me. I absolutely love it.
Wow.
Oh, I just have one more point to make, and I think we'll talk about it, is how complicated it can be when it comes to like the concept of selling out, especially when you have a friend that's another person of color and is also trying to be successful and wants the best for you, even and doesn't understand why you may be okay when I wanted to compromise yourself to make it. I thought that was an interesting dynamic in this as well.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Okay. Those are very interesting opinions. I just happen to agree with both of them. Look, I thought this movie was tremendous. I really did. My biggest issue with this film is that I can't believe it took me this long to watch it, to be honest. I think like when people often talk about black films, like there's a lot of like trauma porn and stuff like that, which is a fair thing to make an argument about, and a complex issue. When they talk, there are no black films that are out that are doing it. Hey, this is one. This is a movie about black people just trying to make it. And it's not like heavy about racism and stuff. It's just a woman aging and trying to find her way in life, which is like the whole point of her play was like, these things are happening, but like that doesn't have to be the focus. It's a powerful story. It's also, like you said, it's also hilarious. Like there are moments that are very funny. Look, Tiara is 12 years old, so she doesn't quite understand this. But there is, obviously it's dealing with turning 40. Boy, does it hit it right on the fucking head. Like not in an obnoxious way, but just so well done as far as getting older and seeing your position in life and like it's a monumental, step in your life, right? Like you hit 40 and you're like, oh shit, like I'm supposed to have my life together. I'm supposed to be, that's the narrative. No, I think she nailed it. Like she really did. And it's funny because this is the particular movie that came out that was a little past, I guess she's a little older than 40 in the movie, like in actuality. This is her breakthrough for a movie, right? So like it took her to like basically at 40 to really crack through and make a real run for it. Her rapping actually was like pretty good. I was actually impressed. I was like, oh, she's gonna start rapping. I was like, oh shit, this is not gonna be good. It was good. It was actually pretty good. She's funnier than I thought she'd be.
She's beautiful too.
She is
beautiful.
She
gorgeous.
Is. And I will also save yes, and I will also save that for another person in this movie who I was just like, oh, like the woman who starred in the play. I was like, wow, that woman is beautiful. Good Lord. But like I just thought it hit on a lot of things that I thought were really quite smart. Micah, you mentioned it's got like She's Gotta Have It vibes. Yeah. She also was in the writer's room for the She's Gotta Have It TV series. So that makes sense, right?
That makes sense.
Yeah, I just like when I was watching, I was like, yeah, this feels like it definitely feels like a Spike Lee sort of inspired thing. And I don't mean that in a negative way at all. I thought she was firing on all cylinders, man. She really was. It was impressive. It's not easy. I have to imagine. I'm not a writer or a director, but it can't be easy to write, direct, and star without it feeling, and loosely about your life, without it feeling like self-indulgent. And it doesn't. Like she has a way of humanizing herself, which is super easy to not do when you're like, I'm awesome. Like you're writing a story because you don't want to show your faults as much, but she kind of lays it all bare. So, a lot of credit to her. I thought it was great. Like it was a great New York story. It was a great 40-year-old story. I don't know. The soundtrack was dope as shit. Like I just liked it. I liked everything about it.
It also touches on like the concept of having another career. I think a lot of people are conditioned to think that you are the thing that you choose when you're 18 or whatever, and you're in college, or whatever. That is the career that you are going to have at 40. But in reality,
it's madness.
In reality, you could have several different careers over your lifetime. And clearly she's a playwright here who tries to become a rapper, but there's a question of, is it okay to shed one identity at pretty much almost towards the middle of your life for a whole new path? Right. And I feel like this kind of like says that, yes, you can do that and still be successful, or even kind of marry the two if you want, but it's okay to branch into something completely new. Right.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I think I would go 5 stars, honestly. Like I was telling my wife, she didn't watch it with me. I was like, I will watch this again. Yeah, I told her, I said, like, I will watch this again with you. Absolutely. It's fantastic. It really was. I will say this. I almost died of secondhand embarrassment.
Me too.
No, I had to fast forward a little bit. I was like, you gotta get to the scene. I had to mute.
It was bothering me. And I walked away and I was like, I can't do this.
Yeah, I can't be here with you.
I actually did my thing that I do, which is if there's too much suspense, I just look up the plot just so I can see what happens. Because I needed to know that everything was going to be okay.
That a nuclear bomb was just going to blow up in that scene. I was just watching. I'm like, oh, okay, all right. I was like, Netflix got the hit the button. It's like 10 seconds in the future. I'm like, she's still talking. All right. Like, my secondhand embarrassment was too high. It was too high. It was just, it was over the moon. I had to tell myself, like, this isn't going to kill me. This isn't real. It's a movie. Take yourself out of it. But I just felt this weird anxiety, especially if she's going like, yo. I was like, oh my God. She gonna die.
Please, someone stop her. Stop her. But her kids are going to clown her for this.
Right. Like that to me is a testament to the writing, that she could write a scene like that. That like just universally, I think people were just like, fuck, this is awful. Please just stop. Like you felt horrible for her because you like her so much, right? Like you like the character and you want to see her succeed. But yeah, that scene made me incredibly uncomfortable. I just was not a fan. But that's the point. So I loved it.
Art is supposed to make you feel things.
That's right.
Yes.
There you go. I hate when it makes me feel things. This makes me angry. Which I never understood.
Radha is a playwright and a teacher. She's nearing her 40th birthday. And she's living under the burden of unfulfilled promise of a 30 under 30 award that she won a decade ago. We see that she's living in Harlem. And, a lot of, we get some documentary style, like Spike Lee style, testimonials from characters. You got the Asian bodega clerk. You got the 70-year-old woman, sassy woman. You got the bum across the street.
that dude was
who was pretty funny.
Yeah.
You got the Spanish speaking worker. They are slightly recurring, and you got a couple students. A lot of these shots are just kind of establishing the world that we're in this version of New York, which feels like a New York worth living in. New York is, you could tell, I don't know where she's from. I would presume that she is from New York.
I would assume
Yes.
so.
Because like people from New York, like really from New York, when they make movies about New York, it seems like a cool place to be. And people who are not from New York or are from New York, but they look down on New York, they write New York in a very different way.
You can always tell a transplant.
Yeah.
You can always tell.
Yeah. So this New York is the New York that I want to live in, right? Like this is the New York that's like a Spike Lee type New York.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to live in like the Dick Wolf New York.
Dick Wolf, New York. That's a horrible New York. Good Lord. That's so much crime. Everyone is being raped, shot, and stabbed every day. Every day.
Yeah, I don't want that. I don't want that. At one point we see her on the bus trying to get to school, and she's just annoyed because these people who need help getting on the bus, they're like it's taking time, and she wants to get off, and the bus driver is like, "Hey, yo, this lady don't want these handicapped people to get on the bus."
Yeah, that shit was hilarious. She doesn't want me to help these disabled people get on. That was fucked up. She was like, "Oh, I didn't mean that. I'm sorry." Like, but this is where you get to see like her comedic timing, like, and comedic writing. It's very good.
And she's got a very expressive face too. Like
she does.
Yes.
Like her, she knows what to do with her face. Like that sounds weird, but like once you see it, you understand.
Yeah.
We cut to this after school program that she teaches kids how to become writers, and we see one of the students, Elaine, just giving one of the most horrific spoken word poetry slams I've ever heard.
Mr. Gemini. I hate that type of poetry, yo. I hate it, yo. That's when everybody snaps at the end. I hate it. I hate it.
Look, Elaine, that little girl. I was like, ooh, I would just want to snatch her up by her little braids, just being so goddamn disrespectful. But she had, other issues going on. So
she has a good arc. She has a good arc as a character. She does.
Yeah. So
she's also
Elaine,
her face was very expressive too.
Yeah, she was mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was a very good mean girl. So the kids, Elaine, Rosa, Kamal, and Waldo, those are the four principal students. All of them are great in this movie. They're all pretty stellar.
Yo, they're not acting. Yo. I refuse. I don't think they're acting. Yo, these are kids from like Brooklyn or wherever they are. Like, nah, these kids are not acting. Like,
Rosa was so funny. I loved her. She's probably one of my favorites.
She's not acting, yo. She's just a kid from around, like wherever they were shooting. She was walking, and they were like, "You want to do this?" And she was like, "Yeah, bet." You miss B?
I think she is in the Saved by the Bell revival.
Is she really?
What?
Yeah.
All right, I might watch it. Is she the same type of character? Because I watch the shit out of her.
I don't think so.
I
don't think so.
Remember, it takes place in California. Nah.
Is she a transplant from Brooklyn or whatever? Like, nah, yo. She's great at this.
Elaine cops an attitude, and she's like, "Yo, what you trying to teach us how to write for? You ain't done. I Googled you, and you ain't done nothing in 10 years."
It's fucked up.
And Rosa, who kind of has a crush on Radha, she comes to her defense, and it's an interesting feeling here, because these are feelings that Radha is having, and Elaine is the vehicle in which the audience is allowed to confront that, like these feelings are being confronted directly.
Yeah, by a mean girl.
By a mean girl, right? And it's it it makes me think. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying that I'm Radha in this case, right? Like, what am I doing here? But like, I understand what it's like. I understand what it's like to be at a certain age, and like, oh, well, I guess this is what I'm doing for the rest of my life, right? Like, I'm at midlife if I'm lucky.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
So this is it. And now I got other people that I got to take care of. So
you two would consider yourselves middle-aged?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Really? If I'm lucky, I get to live to 80.
If I'm lucky, I get to 80. Yeah.
Was midlife 50 in the black community? No.
Oh yeah, sorry, y'all are black men.
All right, relax. Relax.
But y'all are also married, so
yeah, that's
maybe,
true.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Domesticated lions do live longer than ones in not in captivity. That's true.
What this got really hotep-y.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, I ain't calling myself a lion. Get the fuck out of here.
I'll show y'all my tattoo. Hold on a second. No, I'm kidding.
So the kids get into a fight. Rosa and Elaine, they get into a fight, and of course the dudes are like, "Pop a titty out!"
Right, y'all was rolling.
My wife started laughing. I said, "Yeah, that's kind of what dudes think."
No, right? that's 100% what dudes think.
And Radha, the fight gets broken up. Radha goes outside. She's talking on the phone. She's like, I don't know what it is with these kids. Either I like them, and some of them I like them, I hate them, or I want to fuck them. And then here comes the pretty student coming out, kind of putting the moves on Radha a bit.
And he's older too, like, because he was like, "I'll be 20 next month." I'm like, "Nigga, you in high school? Like, the fuck you still here for?" So he's dumb.
Left behind.
It's a bit of a pervert, this one.
And I like how this movie is like Radha, Radha has urges and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like
I'm glad they clarified though. It's like, I'm gonna be 20. I was like, all right, yo, like this dude can't be 18. Yo, that feel look, 19 feels weird, but like 18 is like super uncomfortable. I'm glad they I was like, please.
She said she said something like, I'm gonna either lose my mind or fuck one of these kids, and talking about that old ass student. She said, I heard that and I was like, okay, that's a interesting, but hey, maybe it was real for her, real life or whatever. But I was like, that's a interesting line to keep in there.
Yeah, it was, and I'm like. He's like, I'll be 20. And it did make for a funny moment. He's like, I'll be like 20 next month or whatever. She was like, I'm sure you will be. All over. All right.
All over.
Just please get away from me. That shit was funny. I mean, spoiler alert, she fucked the dude who was 26 later on in the movie. Like,
I mean, that's
better.
That's different.
It's better. It's still mad young.
It's still past the half your age plus 7 rule.
Yeah, that's this is how dudes are stupid.
Half your age plus 7?
No.
So I'm 40, right? Half my age is 20, plus 7 is 27. 27 is the youngest I can be with a person before it starts getting creepy. If I'm with a 26-year-old, it's a little creepy, but 27, there you go.
I feel like 26, you're okay.
Nah, that's weird. It's a little weird. If you're 10 years older than the person, that's weird, and you should be locked up.
Yo,
I'm just fucking around. I'm just being a dick.
Look, y'all asked me in 10 years how I feel about this subject.
Yeah, because you're gonna be out here trying to like pick up some young hopper, young Thundercat, and be like, nah, you older.
Some young NFL player in their like 3rd or 4th season, so they're at least in their mid-20s, but probably have like a new contract.
You're gonna pick up some DJ that look like Michael Che with dreads.
Yes! Oh my god! Thank you, Micah. Thank you so much. I thought the exact same thing. I was like, is that Michael Che? Like, damn. This
No,
nigga can
I
act.
thought that was Maul from Rory and Maul from the fucking Joe Budden podcast. He sounds just like him, and he's also from New York.
That'll look exactly like Michael Che.
That's funny.
Exactly like him.
So Radha is she pays a visit to one of the theater houses, a black owned theater house.
Mojo.
Yeah. And she basically is like, hey, I know we workshop and stuff, but like I need to get paid. Like, let's do something. And let's not do it for free. And this dude is just like, nah, my ancestors tell me that we got to do this for free.
He was like, my ancestors said it was for power,
cause.
like not for profit or some shit like that. I'm like,
it's like my ancestors said we do this for the cause, not commerce.
Yeah. She was
she's
like, can I talk to
Yeah.
my ancestors? That shit was funny. But again, like the writing is really good. Like she writes this guy as being like, oh, like this dude is over the top. Like he's like all about the cause or whatever, but also like not paying black people for their work.
He's definitely a subsection of like Twitter that's like, you need to do be an activist or advocate, but never if you take money for it.
Yeah, then it
You are
doesn't.
a bad person.
Yeah,
Right.
it
You
doesn't
got to
count.
be Jesus Christ, but we don't believe in
Be
him.
broke and homeless,
Nah,
but
I don't believe in
we
that.
admire you though.
Right. Do it all, but like, all right.
No, I live by the Joker rule. You know, if you're really good at something, never do it for free. Get the fuck
you
out of
go.
here.
We cut to a party that Radha's agent and best friend Archie wants to introduce her to a producer. But at the party, we see these two old white women, and
That's exactly where I paused it too. Go ahead.
these two old white women. One of them is like, my husband and I are invested in a multiracial revival of Fences. I'm
Yeah.
like,
Yo, that's literally the exact moment it's paused. I was like, all right. And that was like his whole thing. This white producer guy. He's like, I did an all female version of 12 Angry Men. I did what did he say? I did an all male version of Steel Magnolias. It's like he just keeps like just changing it to change for change's sake, right? Like he doesn't really care much about the actual theater or the
this is so look, let's talk about the white people in this movie. Not since
The worst.
Get Out have I seen white liberalism portrayed in such an accurate way.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right.
And look, this is white liberalism turned up to 11.
Is it?
But like, I feel
Yeah,
like
like-
if you just turn it down to like a 9 or 10, that's actual white liberalism.
I mean, what part felt turned up to you? Because none of it felt turned up.
Yeah,
to me.
it all felt
The
normal. to me.
multiracial revival of
Okay,
Fences,
all right, okay,
that's turned up to 11.
I bet if I Google it, I could find a multiracial version of Fences.
But them actually investing in the multiracial revival of Fences. The idea of a multiracial revival of Fences is what white liberalism is to me.
Yeah, no, that's fair. That's fair. That's absolutely.
And
fair.
I think that she skewers this intentionally or not, perfectly
Mhm.
of white allyship. And if you want to be an ally or whatever, just be a decent human being. That's it.
So
Me,
okay,
myself personally, I need you to go to bat for me without me having to ask you to go to bat for me.
okay.
I
well,
need you to all right, sorry, go ahead.
No, okay. So let me get your thoughts on this. Go fuck yourself.
What's that?
I can't see you. I'll see you next Thanksgiving. That's when I'll talk to you again on social media. That's a deep dive. No, my question to you is like this week on that point, this week it was brought up like there was a New York Times article that, Tom Hanks had said, hey, he thinks that people should be educated about the Tulsa massacre, right? In schools. Like it's kind of ridiculous that people don't know about this, right? And that people are only kind of finding out about this. And the New York Times had written an article. Someone in the Times said, that's all fine and good, but Tom Hanks needs to go further, right? Basically saying like he can't just be, what do they say? He can't just be against racism. He has to be proactively anti-racist, right? So like strong advocacy, coming out and say, hey, I believe these things. You should believe this, X, Y, Z. I mean, in that regard, like in reference to this, right? You're saying that you want people to go to bat for you. Do you need them to go to bat when they see something that they feel is wrong, or do you need them to go to bat in like a regular time? Like,
no, if you see something, say something. If you see something that's wrong, say it. Like what Tom Hanks did when he was like, and the reason he did it is because everyone is talking about it, because isn't it like an anniversary of that event?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it was just a big anniversary, and Biden was.
So everyone is talking about it, right. And it's top of mind in the consciousness.
Right.
So he's like, you know what? Yeah, I think everyone needs to know about it. But
is that enough?
That's like people who, when you mourn a celebrity's death, some asshole comes and say, well, you ain't say, well, why weren't you talking about him like this yesterday or 2 weeks ago? You aren't a real fan. Well, look, nigga, like it wasn't top of mind.
I wasn't expecting them to die on Thursday.
I wasn't expecting him to die.
Right.
Like, Jesus Christ, dude.
Name three songs. You're not a real fan.
You didn't know this person either.
Right.
Look, I don't mind. I more than I don't mind it. I encourage people to be advocates for one another.
Sure.
But at the same time, I don't need you to be a producer. I don't need you saying you're going to help and that you want to help your way. Like if you want to help, that's a good point. If you want to help, I would tell you how to help.
Right.
And this is what you should do. But your way of helping is like telling me who to vote for. No, I don't need you to help like that.
Okay.
I don't
okay.
It's in your best interest to vote for this person. Why can't you see that? Like,
yeah, that doesn't feel like help.
That's not help.
Right.
I
mean, yes and no. I mean, I guess it depends, but I see your point. I generally don't like hearing white people tell me anything. If I'm being honest, like I'm just like, I'm good. Like I got it. Thanks. I'm smart enough to research things. So I guess my question is saying, hey, I think this is a thing that people should be educated on. Is that enough? Like, or should we demand advocacy from white people at all times? Because I feel like, me, myself personally, I think that it is a good thing if you do say stuff like Hanks did. But I don't think white people are like, what bothered me about that article is the assumption that white people always do well when they run out to be advocates. Like, they don't. A lot of times they say stupid shit and you're just like, don't say that. Like, so I'm not as excited to have white people go off on a tangent and decide to be full-time advocates. Like, look, I like Tom Hanks just fine. Like, I feel like he's like the ambassador to white people. He's just like a nice guy. Everybody likes a Tom Hanks movie, right? I don't need Tom Hanks to become political. I just don't. There are people who I think maybe should, but I don't think it's necessarily Tom Hanks. I don't require that of him.
Yeah. So I don't know what article you're referring to, but I can just gather just from the context of everything that you've said. Yeah, I think that if you don't know how to confidently speak on it, just don't.
Yeah,
just
I agree with that.
Don't say anything. Like for real, just don't. And it's like one way or another, you're going to get backlash. So if you don't say anything, people are going to come at you. If you do say something but you say it dumb, then that's the shit people want to throw in your face forever. And I know people want to think that they are super forgiving and open-minded, especially on social media, but that shit is not true. So maybe for him,
Chrissy Teigen. Oops.
I mean, that's something else because Twitter was a different place 10 years ago.
Yeah,
like most people acted just like her. So whatever. Yeah. But I actually want to add to something what Michael was saying about going to bat for you. Sometimes going to bat for another person, especially if you're a white person, means providing the resources that they need without trying to dictate the conditions or completely dictate the conditions of those resources. And I think in Radha's case, it wasn't that. Like, that guy had all types of things he wanted to do with her talent and eventually with her play. Right. And the problem with white liberal people, and I think this is what I was referring to earlier, which is they think that because they are liberal or because they know a Black person, or maybe they put BLM in their profiles, that they know what's best for us, and that's not the case. Yep. But it's also just another form of gatekeeping. And if you keep holding up that you are the savior, you are actually one kind of influencing Black people by pretending like we can't make those decisions for ourselves, but also you know that you have the resources, which is a source of power. And you're willing to hold that power over marginalized groups, just like white conservatives would.
It's a good way of saying it. Yeah, that was perfect.
So you want to go to bat for people? Give up some resources, some connections, some money.
Yeah. Fund my project and get the hell out the way.
Right.
That seems like a lot.
Right. But like a lot of people want to be producers, man. And you can't produce. you just can't. You can't. It's not going to work.
Oh, you can produce. Give me money and get out of the way. But people want to produce and give notes and shit.
Your name can be on it.
Right.
Your name can be on it. Just
I need you to be an executive producer.
I need you to be Brad Pitt.
Right. Just throw the money.
Just throw the money over there.
Bounce.
And then, I'll put you in 12 years a slave for like 12 seconds and you can be like the good white person.
Yeah.
And then your name can be on it.
Look. I'm going to tell you, if I was Brad Pitt, people got mad like, I hated that part. If I'm Brad Pitt, that's exactly the role. If I'm paying for that movie, that's the exact role I want to play. I want to be a slave owner. Fuck them white people. I'm from Canada.
So you want to say those niggers are people too? That's your line?
I mean, look, they are. I pay for this movie. I get to say it.
I get to say it.
I'm allowed to say that shit. But no, I would too. I'd be like, look, let me be the one who saved him. Like, I don't want to be the piece of shit. Like, y'all ain't gonna put that shit on YouTube. You ain't gonna get Brad out.
You let Walter Goggins be the racist. I don't know if he was in that movie, but
he should have been. If he wasn't, he should have been. So yeah, no, I get it. I ain't mad at Brad Pitt for that. Okay, I totally understand.
So Radha and Archie are at this party with where Jay Whitman is at. Jay Whitman is this very wealthy white producer and who basically puts plays on Broadway. And Archie, he's Radha's best friend. He's her agent. He's like, look, I had to let this dude touch my ass just to get a meeting with you. So put a fucking Tic Tac in your mouth and go over there and see what he's got to say. And Radha doesn't want to do this because this guy, he traffics in poverty porn, is what is called in the movie. And we all know what it is, right? Mm-hmm. Like profiting off of Black suffering and Black pain.
Yep. To make white people feel better about themselves.
Right. Mm-hmm. Right. And she's just like, I don't want to do that. That's literally the opposite of what my play is. And I just know he's going to, fuck it up. Right.
Now, it's important to mention here that Archie is Korean. Right.
Yes.
Like that is an important no.
Gay as well.
Yes.
That's
he's a gay Korean man. Because he's a double minority. And his best friend here is also a double minority. So,
and they've been best friends since high school because that's an important part to their relationship,
to their dynamic. Yeah. So, look, Jay Whitman is every, like you said, he's the white people from Get Out, right? Like he's white liberalism, dressed up, and put up to an 11. I find like this idea of using people of color, their ideas in their work as like, hey, I'm being this magnanimous white man and I'm putting these people on. But that would be one thing, and that's still not cool. Like that's a self, profiting sort of thing. But that would be one thing. But he also wants them to change their work so that it lives in a world that he feels comfortable with. Like he literally says, we need to change this so that we can talk to your core audience, the people who are coming to see this, which are white people. Like that's not supposed to be the core audience of this play. It's supposed to speak to black people. But I feel like that happens a lot, right?
And that's the thing. It can speak to white people.
It shouldn't be,
Like-
they shouldn't be the main audience though.
Right.
Like it could, right, but it can speak to white people.
Sure.
They just got to open their fucking minds.
Right. It's the kind of thing. I mean, obviously we're all black, but we've had to watch white people just be regular human beings and make it work for us. Why can't they do the same? Or even just sit there and ask themselves, oh wow, I wonder how this is affecting this culture. Or hey, how about this? It's not about me.
Right. Look, quiet as it's kept, and I think maybe people don't really realize it. And I haven't watched the new season, so I imagine it's very similar in this way. The reason why, what is it? What's the Aziz Ansari show?
Master of None.
Master of None. The reason why people are like, wow, this is really great. This is a really great show. You know what it is? It's just a dude living his life. That's it. It's not about, hey, this Indian guy and what is it like to, struggling with racism in America. It's not about that. It's a minority dude living his life. Yeah, some of that stuff is in the background, right? Like they deal with it in like an episode or two. But for the most part, it's just a guy living his life, which is what we have seen white people do in movies and TV shows, right? Yep. Like so it's not, people regard it as remarkable. And I think it's really good, but it's just because we never get to see minorities just living their lives. Look, Atlanta, while it's a comedy and some of it's like absurdist and stuff like that, I've seen that show before. I've seen that quality of show before. It's just that we don't see it with black people. Like just, hey, a guy trying to make it in the music industry. That's all it is. That's all it is. Like it's not some like wildly different thing, but we're never allowed to just be regular. We're not. And that's minorities of any stripe. So like, that's what this movie is. Like, that's what her play was originally about, is just black people living, working and dying in America. But like, there are other things that go on, but they're not the focus. And that's the whole point. Like, what I loved about this movie is, yeah, she's reaching 40, but it's not like, and the white man is trying to hold me down. Like, it's not about that. It's not about that. Like, she's struggling because she wants to have her story presented in her way. Like, that's a human story. And the problem is black people and, and people, people of color in general are not allowed to just tell their human stories. Like, that is just not a thing. If you go back and look over the last couple of years, that's been changing. But if you go back 10 years, right? Like, go back into the early 2000s, go back into the 90s and look at black movies. They're not about that. They're all about like fighting against some larger fucking thing and like, fighting against, your upbringing and all. They're all like that. And it's just, that's exhausting. Black people just want to live their lives. You want to come downstairs, go to the store, go to work, whatever happens at work and go home. That's why the 90s, like when black people kind of took hold of that in the like early 2000s and the late 90s and just did like what I refer to as like the black renaissance, the modern renaissance of black films. Think about like Brown Sugar and shit like that. That's not about anything. It's people trying to make it in the record or the music business, right? And have a relationship. It's got nothing to do with this larger world of oppression and all. It just has to do with black people living. And black people connected with that. And it's like, where are these movies? Yeah, this is one of them. And it's nice to see it again. It really is.
Yeah.
So
she's talking to Whitman And Whitman is like, tell me your play in your own words. And she's like, well, it's about a shop owner who inherits his store from his parents who are dead. And he's just trying to keep it afloat with his wife, who is also an activist. And he goes on a little bit, and she's like, well, it's, a little bit about gentrification. And she's like, no. If you're going to call it Harlem Ave, you got to give me Harlem Ave, it's circa 1982, I guess.
Right. Okay.
And she was like, what, you want me to, write a teen mother shooting up in an alley or something? And he's just like, no. This should be about gentrification and the white land grab encroaching on this black man's property, about the victim or some fucking bullshit, right? And she's like, but your play never goes there. And then I'm asking myself, did a black person even write this?
Listen,
Yo,
nah, I'd have just been like, I gotta go. Like,
I felt like her response is valid. I had no issues with how she responded, except for the fact that she exactly doesn't have the kind of leverage that that she would like, and she's trying to get on, but also would probably want to react the same way. 100%.
And she didn't even react that way until he said, the good news, work on your play. But the good news is I need a writer for my Harriet Tubman musical.
Yeah, she was like, nah, B, you gotta go.
And she just looked at Archie and was just like, you know what? Bam! And threw a chokehold on him. Now, look, this is the only part of the movie where the movie got me, right? Like, right. I thought this was a dream sequence.
Me
right?
too.
Right, yeah.
Me too,
I think,
yeah.
I mean, that was the whole point of it, I think.
and no, it wasn't. And we cut to her. She took a plate home from the event that she throttled the guest at, and she took a plate home, and she just eating these ribs. It's just like, oh Lord, why? Which I can appreciate. I love some ribs, man. It ain't nothing will there's no better food to eat while you're lamenting on your sorrows
than ribs.
Than eating some ribs.
I mean, in fairness, this is a part of our barbecue culture. So, ribs are in our DNA. It's just a fact.
She's at a loss for what to do with her career. And she hears some rap music outside, and while she's in her apartment, and she gets up, looks in the mirror, and starts rapping, and she starts writing, putting pen to paper, and it's. I mean, look, I don't know like the science of rap, but I know what sounds good to me, right. And her flow sounds good to me.
Work for me.
I mean? Like I get it.
Okay, I'm gonna say something. 20 somethings. I know that you will be in the comments, and that's fine. I get it. It's an opinion.
All right, I'm gonna leave.
No. You need to stay to hear this. No. Rap was better when it was New York centric. It was. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
To me. Like, that's all I could feel every time, like, any of the beats came on in this and everything else. I was just like, it was better then. It just was. And that's not to say that I don't like some trap music. Yeah, I just think it was better. I'm old, though.
You're 40.
I'm 41. I'm old.
It's midlife, yo.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like his life is half over.
Yeah. Back in
He's
my
on the
day.
Downhill.
All right, relax. God damn. Hey, my nigga, calm down.
Yeah,
Fuck
you have more years behind you.
All right.
He officially does have more years behind him than he does in front of him.
You don't know that.
Yeah, you know what's funny?
I mean, it's probably
Jay is going to be like 60 years old and probably end up passing away, and Mitch McConnell's still going to be alive. That's going to be like,
that's not funny, yo. That's mean.
That's mean, yo.
If I'm 60 years old,
fun, yo.
like if I'm 60 and I feel like I'm on death's door, yo, I'm making a drive to Kentucky, yo. We gotta fight. I feel like I can take him. He gonna be 100. Look, I didn't mind her flow. I thought they were gonna make it that she was just gonna be horrible at this, but apparently she did like some work as this Rodimus character, as a comedian and rapper,
Hilarious.
like in real life.
Yeah.
So yeah, like she's pretty good.
She meets with Archie because she wants to tell him like, hey, look, maybe this she's having a little bit of a breakdown. She's like, maybe this playwright thing ain't working, but yo, I started rapping last night while I was depressed eating ribs in the middle of the night, and I think I could do this.
That doesn't sound crazy at all.
Archie's being a good friend. He's like, okay, but maybe don't give up on the thing you've been working on to try something new.
Yo, she rapping about a skinny white man with a
black
fat black woman's ass.
So you two are men in your 40s with families. Have you done this?
Have I rapped about a white dude with a large ass?
Fat ass?
No, that's not really my thing, but go ahead.
Where you've just woken up, you were like, look, I gotta do this thing, this one thing, and I want to just forego everything I've been doing. Have you just woke up and just told either of your symptoms?
Yes, I record that thing every week. Yes, 100%.
Okay.
I would rather do this than my current job, 100%.
Okay.
Yes.
I have not had that experience. No, because I want I don't mind putting up with the stuff I have to do because I have the things that I want. So I can't complain.
Dang.
I don't want for a lot.
I do. I want to be rich. That's why I'm in the podcast game.
Yeah. That's why you're in a niche of a niche.
Yeah, look, it's Joe Rogan, and then it's gonna be me, right underneath.
Yeah.
Right?
Look,
that's why we do a podcast on movie reviews, something no other podcast does.
Yeah, clearing the way. That's right. Really setting ourselves apart.
I mean, Jay, if you want that Joe Rogan $100 million Spotify deal, you're gonna have to make some changes to Black on Black cinema.
Whatever it takes. It's gonna be
me. Really?
It's gonna be me and Joe Rogan on here trying to make it. Oh, sorry.
So won't be so Mal Tiara. Which one are you?
No, they got they got their own podcast.
I'll be the other one.
I don't know who those people are. So
Joe Budden is on his own. He
don't listen. I don't listen to Joe Budden. He's misogynist.
I don't listen to Joe Budden either.
I stopped. I found him hilarious, but that little team broke up. That's okay.
But Jay, if you do whatever it takes for $100 million, then I'm so glad we have that, on the record. So,
might have to jiggle a white man's balls apparently, like according to this movie. No, I mean, look, I am very much on the record. Like there are definitely things I would not do to make this show bigger than it is. Like I just wouldn't. Like if we were brought an opportunity and had a chance to like super make it, yeah, great. If they were like, hey, we want you to bring a white man on, no, I'm good. I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do it. Sorry.
No,
I wouldn't. I just wouldn't. Like there are certain things I'm willing to compromise on. There's certain things I'm not. But I mean, I may be compromising like, what's the format style of the show? We're going to pay you $100 million. I'd be like, okay, maybe we'll talk about it. But if they're like, could you do white movies now on Black cinema? No.
No.
That doesn't make any sense.
No, that's not what they would say. They would be like, we were listening to a few of the preview episodes, and we just, we value your perspective on, the African American struggle, but we just felt it was a little bit not harsh to a certain audience, but not as inclusive as it could be. Do you think you could? Wow,
you really have been in corporate America out in California for too goddamn long. Yeah,
that's what they would say, which is code for it's not you.
You're making white people uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd be like, bet. What's the check? How much? All right, we'll have to do the preview episodes no more. You good? I just slide that shit in on the regular episode. Ain't no big deal. Don't even worry about
Wow.
Right. I mean, you
Like-
know.
it. Hey, the show's just every other week. It's just a blank week in between. Like, that's on them.
Right.
That's not on me.
That's more of a break for us.
Right.
You know, we were listening to the episode, the spook who stepped by the door, and
Are we allowed to say
we-
spook?
we love the authenticity that you guys had at the beginning.
They
But I
love
think we
the
want to just
authenticity.
take the show in a more modern direction. If you get what I'm
Broaden
saying.
your audience, if you will.
Yeah, to broaden enough to make it more inclusive and diverse and equitable. You know.
Nah, I'd be like, nah, fuck Whitey. Give me my money.
Do you think you could change it to the ghost who sat by the door? Yo, that's not the name of the movie.
Wait, are you Boss Nigger? This is a real movie? Is this a real movie? Yes. We're gonna do it again.
But Jay and Mike, I gotta tell you, we love that Tyler Perry. So if you wanna,
Yeah,
keep
no,
doing
that
those
would be a
movies,
thing. They'd be like, yo, you need to do mad Tyler Perry movies. And I'm
Yo,
like, no.
that's
But $100 million, $100 million, I'd do it.
I get the feeling that people would say you guys need to lay off of some of the celebrities in your
Oh, 100%.
criticism.
Oh, yeah.
Spoiler alert, that is one of the reasons why I don't do interviews on any shows. Any of them. Because I realize you can't be honest. You can't. Any show that does heavy interviews with like Hollywood celebrities, movie shows, they're not honest in their reviews. How? Can you be like, yo, Mark Wahlberg's movie fucking sucked balls. It was dumb as shit. Hey, next week Mark Wahlberg's gonna be on to talk about it. No, you can't. You gotta eat dick. No, I'm not doing that.
so. Does this mean you won't be asking for press passes for African American Adam when it comes out?
Oh no, I'll get those press passes and then I'm gonna tell you what I really think. It's all right. Like if it's great, it's great. If it's bad. So yeah, I mean, look, Radha's point about not wanting to compromise is a valid one. It's not easy because
Right.
it's really hard. I mean, one, she's a woman, right? And that's difficult enough. And then she's a black woman. That's twice, if not 3 times harder, to make it. So I get
And
it.
older
Like that,
one too, middle aged
and middle aged,
That
right?
40,
Like,
yep.
and she's doing something where she's not selling sex to make it, right? Like,
Right.
I hate to say that, but like, that's even brought up in a rap battle later on between 2 women, right? Like the idea of your popularity based on what you look like versus what your skills are. But there's a lot of that shit. So yeah, I get it. Totally understand.
So Radha agrees
Call me BET+.
Radha agrees to meet with Whitman after Archie kind of smoothed things over. But she says that she's going to meet with this producer who can make beats because she wants to she wants to give this rap thing a try. And she goes to the guy's house. There's a bunch of dudes there in the apartment. This one dude in the background is just
He's terrible.
it's just the worst fucking thing I've heard. And she's sitting there waiting, for her turn. And she falls asleep and everybody gone. So she's pissed. She's like, I'm getting too old for this bullshit, right? We cut to a workshop, or is it the workshop, or are they looking for a new are they looking for a white actor a female white actor to
They're
be in the
they're doing
right.
doing auditions for the play.
Yeah, they're doing auditions and they found this white woman who whatever. We see Archie kind of smoothing things over again with Whitman. Whitman is like, you should really be a producer. You shouldn't be an agent. You should be a producer, right? Like that's where the money is. That's where your talent should go. You shouldn't let some washed up writer weigh you down.
Right.
And it's just like, he's like, could you reconsider? And he's just like, no, I'm not gonna press charges on her, but I'm not gonna do her play. Like, fuck you.
Yeah. I mean, Jay Whitman is a perfect example of a gatekeeper, right? Like,
yeah,
there's not enough big time producers of black plays who are black in Broadway, or adjacent to Broadway, I guess. And he knows this, so he gets to put on plays even by black people, and he gets to shepherd them through in his vision, which is really fucked up. Right. But this is Whitman is that sort of gatekeeper persona, or the gatekeeper type of character, is really emblematic of like how fucked it is to make it as a minority, right? Like. Yep. Like, if there were black people who were gatekeepers or, in this position, they could just be like, all right, I like, this is an interesting vision. They may or may not like it, but they are less likely to make you compromise completely with your vision. Where Whitman is like, it doesn't jive well with me because it makes me and my white audience uncomfortable. So fuck that. Give me the poverty porn type of shit. Give me some like Tyler Perry nonsense. Yeah. Which also gets stated in this movie, which I thought was fucking bold.
Yeah. In the beginning, she was like, Elaine was like, "You ain't no Tyler Perry." And Rada's just like, "Thank you."
Yeah, I tell you, I think that shit is a compliment. Like, no, I mean, how do you guys feel about that? By the way, like, is that a dangerous game to play because he's such a big name, or is it because he's so big?
Monique would say it's a dangerous game to play.
I think
she lost that game.
Yeah, well, I think she fucked with Oprah. I think that's what really fucked her up. Oprah was like, cut her shit right off.
Jay, what's your question?
But like, is it a dangerous game to play to have that sort of cutting criticism of who is arguably the most successful black director in Hollywood? Which, by the way, is not me. Which is not me saying I think it is wrong. I
mean, I don't feel that way. I think if you're an up and coming black actor or someone who is not super well known, yeah, it is.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't really matter what people what one may think of his plays or his work. He is a door opener. There's like Taraji worked with him so often. I mean, it just won't work with him again, but it's like, it's different when you have those people who are so high profile versus someone who is just who is looking for the opportunity. And Tyler Perry is there. And it's about playing Tyler Perry is also kind of a gatekeeper because he doesn't I don't think he likes union workers, which is an issue. But at the end of the day, it's like, I really hate to put it this way, but you may have to end up compromising some form of yourself if you want to succeed. And it's not, I don't think I'm saying anything that people can't relate to. We all have to play the game in some way to protect ourselves and protect our lives and our careers.
Should we though? Let me table. Let me table that for a second. Should black people have to compromise to make it in their careers? That's one question. Mm-hmm. Coupled with that, do you think white people do when they have to make it, when they're trying to make it?
Should black people? Absolutely not. It would be. I was having a discussion today with someone about the price of speaking up about structural issues, especially when it comes to things like structural racism in different spaces. Mm-hmm. And depending on where you are, if you're not the person who is a primary decision maker, you are exposing yourself to retaliation, whether you know it or not. Like US, taking like employment, for example, which is usually where this topic usually comes up. As an employee, you can be fired for any reason. Right. But when you push against a certain system, it only takes one person to say, this person makes me feel uncomfortable. It's usually going to be the black person. We're going to let them go, but we're going to say it's something, right? And that puts extra pressure on you to be even more excellent than you are. You have to be walking into that workplace. Is it right? No, but that is the reality. The white people, compromise themselves. I mean, I think in some ways, yeah. I mean, again, I think it's more about if you are a decision maker. I feel like white people are less likely to, but yeah, especially if you're a woman, or if you're a white person who also believes in true progressivism, you're also putting yourself at risk. But
right.
to honestly, with the right white person, you can do anything. But for Black people, it's that's really not our reality. And there was something I was listening to a podcast, and he said, if you see a Black person at an executive level in an industry where there aren't a lot of them, it's most likely because they've had to play the game for so long, and they've had to put up with a lot of bullshit, which means, unfortunately, staying quiet when you really, really, really want to speak up.
Yeah, like that makes sense to me. I do then see people shit on Black people for making it that high, and just being like, well, you never push back against this. But like, I'm not sure that you can without doing that. And
you endure a lot.
Yeah.
To get to that point. And it's a fucked up thing, because it's like, I think we have
then turn around and ask for a handout. Like, go hook me up.
Right.
Like, don't insult me and then ask for my help. Right. You don't know what the fuck I had to do. It's like, I was listening to our Antebellum episode today, because it's a funny episode.
Oh my God.
And we talked about, you have made a point, Jay, about it being insulting for people to say, I'm not my ancestors, and I wouldn't have done this and that. And you're right, it is insulting, because those people had to put up with horrific act, some of the most horrific acts in human history.
Yeah, it's unspeakable.
So that you could live the life that you're living now, and to a very lesser extent, that's what we all have to do
to survive.
We have to play to survive. Yeah. We got to play this game. Now, look, if you can play the game, and if you can play it well, what you do with it when you get to a high level, then that,
when you're untouchable,
right? That to me, is the measure of not of your worth, but what you do with your power says a lot about you.
Well, it shows, was it worth it? Right? Do you stay quiet long enough to make it, and that level of quiet allows you to get there, and then you use your power for good? Or did you stay quiet long enough
and pull the ladder up right behind you?
Right. Or you stayed quiet so long you forgot how to speak up, and you get corrupted by the system. Because that happens, right? I'm gonna make it, and I'm gonna put my head down, I'm gonna just keep working, and then when I get there to the mountaintop, I'm gonna throw that ladder down to Black people. But you've been ground down to a fucking point so long, and you've been quiet for so long that you become a part of that system, and you're like, these niggas aren't working hard enough, that's not my problem, right? Like, you see that, like, it does happen.
And I actually think that's also because we're not a monolith, but I think for Black people who do that, they probably see Black people who aren't doing what they think they should be doing, or quote unquote working hard enough, as a reflection on themselves, or how they could be perceived in these super white and wealthy spaces. Yeah. But I would say that if you're a Black person, I think this is for pretty much, if you're a Black person in the industry and you realize that you are kind of working up the ranks, I do think it is your responsibility to open up the door for people, especially if you are the first, or if you're one of the only and you've gained traction, to kind of infiltrate the system and kind of continue to push and push and push and push. But it is exhausting. And sometimes, at what point do you feel like you want to stop pushing against and kind of just want to settle? Which to me is, heartbreaking.
I mean, look, these are things that white people don't have to think about, right? Like this, we talked about this in the education episode of Small Acts, right? Like, Black people get the benefit of that collective effervescence of seeing black people succeed. White people don't get that because white people succeed as a generality, right? And that doesn't mean all white people succeed. That's not my point. But it's not crazy to see a white kid go to college. Like it's not. Yeah. It's not crazy to see a white kid get their doctorate. It's just not, right?
No,
like
it's just not.
It just isn't.
I know I can speak to, the industry I work in, like there's a small black community in my industry, and we always have each other's back. We talk, we all work in different companies, but we talk and we're like this.
Right.
It is interesting that seeing that same type of community amongst white people, because they get to be individuals, where for us,
they don't have to. Right.
We have to be that community and looking out for each other.
White people don't care about white people.
I was gonna say, in the words of my kid, they don't fuck with white people like that. I sent Mike a clip from this comedian where he's this white dude, and he was like, he saw a race fight like in the park, and his first thing when they were like, some white guy called like a black dude a nigger, he was like, I'm not with him. Like, I don't fuck with him like that. And he was like, get him. Like, fuck that guy up. Like, he was like, I will record you. He was like, I will record a bunch of black dudes kicking the shit out of you, and I'll put it on YouTube. I don't give a fuck about white people. Like, he don't, because he doesn't have to. He doesn't have to defend other white people. But his point, and it was a really salient one, he was like, if one black dude sees a white guy fighting another black dude, that black dude will step in and be like, we are brothers. We are in this together, and he will fight like, because we have a connection with each other. White people aren't required to have that to survive in society. They're just not. I mean, it was an absurdist joke, but there's a truth in that, right? There really is. So like, we do have that collective effervescence when we succeed. And like in this movie, we also have this like collective sigh when we feel like one of us might have made it by ulterior means, right? And like, I don't think Tyler Perry is like a sellout. I don't. Like, I really don't. But
no, that guy's worked very hard to get where he is.
Right. And look,
I will always say that.
Right. He's work ethic. I don't think his work is very good, but he has a work ethic. Sure. Can do a whole season of a show in 20 minutes. But I wouldn't call him a sellout. But what I would say is, I wish he had made it in a different way, where like they talk about like poverty porn, like he plays to this sort of melodramatic nonsense porn, right? That I feel like is almost making fun of black people. And I don't think he means it to be, but it feels that way to me, right? And that's not true for everybody, obviously. And I wish he had made it a different way. Like I wish that when people said, name 3 black directors, Tyler Perry wasn't number 1 on almost every white person's list. That's who they know. I wish Barry Jenkins was, right? Like somebody who's making powerful films about black people that are not him dressing up, in a dress as a fucking, ridiculous character. So I'm not mad that he's making it, but like, I get the idea of selling out or seeing it as selling out or not making it under the means by which we as a community would like to see him make it.
Right.
But again, there's plenty of people who like Tyler Perry stuff. So it doesn't mean they're wrong. It's just a different perspective.
So, fuck. Where the fuck are we?
We can fast forward a little bit. She goes to CD.
So so Radha goes and she finds this producer, and she starts making she creates the surname or cipher name, or whatever you rap people use to call yourselves, of Rodimus Prime, which is the second Rodimus Prime that I know.
Yes.
I know of. And Archie thinks that, you're having a bit of a breakdown. But she goes to find Dee, the producer, and Dee is initially distant towards her, but they create a track together, and they hit it off. You could see, he even says it later on that Dee thinks that Radha is making like actual, like music that is saying something, that is like a story. Whereas some of these other rappers are literally just stringing words together because they rhyme. And So it's not, that ain't cool, right? He's so impressed with her that he invites her to perform at a showcase for a bunch of up and coming rappers. And the kids, her students, find out. And so they decide they're going to show up too. So they're at the showcase. Radha's really nervous. Dee takes her to a cipher session. Is that what the
very good, old man? Very good.
And
like they used to have down the harbor, yo. Anyway,
everybody's doing their rap thing, and it kind of loosens Radha up, and she does a little warm up rap, as it were, and so it seems like she's ready. One dude, right before they go on, offers her a toke. Is it a toke?
I hate you Jay? So much. I wouldn't know, Mike. I don't do drugs.
It's a toke of marijuana, and she takes a drag off of it, and
off of a marijuana cigarette,
of the marijuana plant cigarette, and she's like, ooh, and then she takes another one. She's like, ooh. All right.
Yeah.
This is some weed.
It might have been a little too strong.
And then she gets introduced and she goes out there and she's a little loosey goosey. She's like, DJ, drop that beat or whatever rappers do for the DJ. Turn me up in the headphones and drop that beat. And she's just like, yo.
I had to fast forward.
So embarrassing.
And my wife was just like, oh no, she's too high.
That shit was hilarious. But also, I don't like secondhand embarrassment. It's that's one of the worst feelings in movies. Like, you just
like the character, yo. Like, cause I really like Radha. I really like her, yo. But I knew something was about to happen, so I wasn't like, because something had to happen.
Yeah,
right?
she's got to have a fall from grace.
Yeah, this is not. Her. She has to be shaky in this also, because that's the point of this movie, right? Like, I don't know what to do with myself. And so I wasn't expecting her to be like, the marvelous Mrs. Maisel and just be an expert at it. Right
off the top.
So, something had to happen, and did it happen.
She was awful.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. It was so bad she didn't even show up to school the next day.
It's like, nah, fuck that.
She's a grown woman.
Nah, yo, you can't go.
They want to show up.
I wouldn't have gone either, yo. No.
Them kids with a clown. I don't care how old you think you are. High school. That feeling of being clown like you were in school stays with you forever.
Yeah. Nah, I wouldn't have gone. She had the right move. Nope. Nah, I'm not. I was like, we can teach class over Zoom, but I'm going to mute all of your mics and not have my camera on. So fuck y'all. Like, nah, yo, I'm not coming in. Fuck that. No. That scene is so horrible. Like, it's really well shot and really well done, but I could not take it. It's like, please just move on. So yeah, she fucked all the way up.
So Archie consoles her. He's like, look, I was able to talk to Whitman, and I was able to convince him to do Harlem Ave. But I need you, but you're going to do it. He's going to have some notes, but he'll do it. And she's just like, yeah, all right, I'll do it. And Archie's great. He's ecstatic, right? Because, and 10% for your manager, right? Like, so he gets paid. Cut to D, producing producing a track for some whack ass rapper, and he tries to call Radha, but she doesn't pick up the phone because she's in the middle of a script meeting, and she's like, or Whitman is like, we got a black couple facing gentrification in Harlem. we need to know who's gentrifying. We got to personify that gentrification. We need a white person there, right?
That's right.
And because we need to grab the core audience. And the core audience is the gentrifiers.
Yeah, like there's nothing. This is gonna be a weird example, but it's accurate to this too. Recently, like as of like 2 days ago, like this crazy woman in Congress, Marjorie Taylor Greene, she's a fucking idiot, right? She did a press conference outside of Congress saying, "Oh, my bad for comparing people to Nazis. I went to the Holocaust Museum, and you guys are right. That was really fucked up. There's nothing that compares that." She's 46 years old. She needed to go to the Holocaust Museum to realize this. This person's in Congress. But she was like, during the Holocaust, they killed, so many Jews and non-Jews and Christians. And like, she had to like, and the reason why I make the example is she does what Whitman does, right? She can't just talk about and deal with other people's shit. She has to figure out a way to add her group into something, right? Like, and Christians, like, it's the Holocaust, like, it's all about Jews. Like, you don't have to try to make it about your people, like, and it's the same thing. Whitman is like, how do we add white people into this? Like, and he wants to, because it's not like I want to have this small part for this white woman. I want to have this large part for this white woman who personifies gentrification, which the play was not mostly about. So, yeah. And then, of course, they bring this mediocre looking white woman in to be literally stand in the middle of the black couple at one point. So,
well, we gotta, you know what? Never mind.
Michael loves white women.
As the play progresses to the workshop stage, Radha increasingly feels uncomfortable with the compromises that she has to make to appeal to white audiences. The black female lead of the play is like, "Girl, are you okay? Because I saw some of these changes.
Right.
This don't look right." During the workshop, this shit was hilarious.
Yo, I was crying.
Yeah.
Nigga, I was crying.
She's
This woman is super fine, by the way. She is super
Yes, she
fine.
is.
Good Lord.
And this white woman is like, "What's a girl got to do to get some soy milk around here?" Or some bullshit, right? And the black male leader is like, "Baby, I hear you. I'm not suggesting we change our whole flow. I'm not suggesting we change our whole flow. Just that we incorporate some of the things these new Harlemites want." New Harlemites, this is the wife talking, right? This is the wife, the activist, right? the activist. New Harlemites. Well, does that even sound right, baby? We can't be changing for them. We got to. And then she's just like, "All right, hold on.
I'm an educated black woman. Yo. Don't have me talking like this. This is crazy.
I'm a goddamn activist, right? What is this? We ain't Scots to do this." And she comes up and she's just like, "I'm sorry, what's up with this?" And then the white woman who's a producer, she's or whatever.
She's the director.
She ends up being the director. They were at this point they were looking for
right,
a director.
Yeah.
Right.
But right now she's a producer, and she's just like, "Hey, what's up with this?" And the white woman tries to white splain African American vernacular English, or she's trying to white splain the part to her. She's like, "No, I know my part. What is this? We gots to ain't gots to be here. No, oh lordy, and what is all this?"
Yo, she was like, she's from the old school.
She's like, "Well, let me give it to the playwright."
Like, yeah, I'm not dealing with this shit.
All right. Yo.
I did like that. She's like,
and then the one woman, and then the other white woman, she was like, black woman was like, "Why am I talking like this?" And the other white woman, the young white woman, is like, "Oh, it's because you're black and I'm white. That's why I don't speak that way."
Yo, and even the white woman was like, the other woman was like, no, don't get choked out in here on that shit. Like, this race is not an issue here. And they were like, wait, what?
And this is where Radha's expressions just slayed me. Listen, like this whole scene, because I'm like, girl, like the exasperation that was in her body language, just like, I agree with her, but for the sake of this play, I gotta try to play the game, basically.
I mean, she was like, she has mythical or mystical Southern charm. Like, what? She's like, she's from the old school. And I'm like, what was like, she's 35.
She's 35.
Like, what are you talking about? But, you know, that's the thing I don't like. And it's not like there aren't black people who talk like that, but it's always that you have to find black people who talk like that. And to this black actress's point, the white woman don't talk like this. Her black husband doesn't talk like this. So why the fuck is she talking like this? But it's that like, girl, head snaking like type of shit that they want, because that's how they see black women. That's how they want to see them, so that they feel comfortable in putting black women in a box. Instead of, you're an activist, you live in New York, and you speak clearly and intelligently and without, you know, all this slang language and stuff like that. You can't just do that. There are plenty of black people that I know who speak well, like, and are very thoughtful people. So I don't like, yeah, it like Radha has this like funny thing. She's like, I don't really know what like where this is, you know, where the verbiage comes from, but why don't you do it? And then I'll hear it, and then I'll give it back to you. As to why, because she was trying so desperately to avoid saying, they made me change this shit so that you sound like this, which is basically it. She was funny. That whole, you know, when she was like, this isn't just soy milk, this represents like gentrification. Yo, I was fucking howling. Yeah, that shit was hilarious to me. But it was a perfect example of white people trying so desperately to seem woke. Just trying so desperately. I think wokeism has made white liberals almost completely unbearable to me.
Yes,
it has,
because it's they're overcompensating for their own.
They're overzealous.
Yeah,
like you know who's a woke white person who I don't hear a bunch of bullshit from? Brad. Like Brad on our network is completely aware of like his position in the world. He's a smart guy. If you don't know something, he'll ask you about race shit. Like, he's not a fucking idiot. Like, is it cool if I do the rap dance? Like, he's not a fucking idiot, right? Yeah. Like, he's a smart guy. But he's not like, yo, I'm so woke. Let me like break it down to, like, he doesn't do that. Like, if you do that, white people, stop. It's annoying.
Although Brad, I was eating some rice and chicken.
Oh no!
And I said, yeah, it was. I'm eating Indian food, and he said, oh, did you go over Jay's house this weekend?
Brad is a racist. Brad's a racist. You know what? I take back everything I said about Brad. Brad's a racist. Which is funny because I thought he mostly hated Inuits, which is weird. But like, that's funny.
Brad and also Andy, the other anti-racist white person on the network.
No, not the things he says offline. No, not that guy. I'm kidding. Relax.
Like, they don't do the thing that I find that most white people, white liberals do on Twitter, which is they get mad on our behalf about things that we're not mad about. It's just like,
I hate it, yo. I hate it. Yo, stop! Stop doing that.
You don't get to quote unquote cancel things when we're not really bothered by it at all. Like, you can calm down.
Yeah, you know who I haven't heard say a single thing about the new episode of Loki? Black people. None. I haven't. All the people I've seen say some stupid shit about that have been white. Oh no! Oh no! No! Come on.
Y'all travel through different circles, I guess.
Right? I saw that Asian dude. Like, he was running to get his woke merit badge. I will say
that it was mostly. No, I mean, I definitely saw some white people.
Nah, it's young people, yo. It's young people.
Yeah, you're also. Oh no, they're not over 40, are they? Do they look old? They got lines in their face?
I mean, I can't really tell. I don't be looking at people's profile pictures like that, but they're old enough.
They old enough to know better.
Still better.
All right.
Were they latchkey kids? If you weren't a latchkey kid, then nah, you probably
I don't know what that
young.
is.
You don't know what a latch?
Because you're too young. Because you're too young.
Because your parents cared about you.
I was born in 2001. Everyone. So
Yo, that's
I believe it.
wow. That's insane.
I really don't remember things like 9/11 or anything like that. So I'm really young.
Fucking. I was at work. I was at a real ass job.
I was
Wow.
just born.
Yeah, I was sitting in a van at the Patapsco wastewater treatment plant.
Wow. Like when I was
Listening to DC 101. I remember specifically what I was doing.
Yeah.
Wow. I remember when I was born.
I was trying to talk to this girl at work.
That I was like, wow.
She was super hot.
Yeah, I don't remember any of that.
Wow. You are
Jesus.
12.
All right, yo. All right.
All right, let's get back to a movie that Tiara cannot connect with at all.
Right. Let's let Jay and I get back to this old people trying to figure out life movie.
Okay. Yeah, let's do that.
We'll review it again in 2031 when you're ready. God.
Yeah.
All right, go fuck yourself. Anyway, go ahead. Jesus.
Look, Radha goes home and she's after this script reading, she goes home and she's just sitting there with a pen and pad and she's trying to figure things out. She's trying to work it out.
Can I stop you 1 second? I appreciate that this movie had a Muslim dude selling oils on the subway, and he had the bandolier of oils. Yeah, no, that's about right. that's a very uniquely weird black experience. Just a nigga with a bunch of oils harassing you. So
we check in with the kids who are performing a play. Their play is about impregnation, basically. Like it's about a sperm fighting his way to the queen of the vagina eggs so that he can penetrate her or whatever. Yeah. It's the comic relief, and those kids do a pretty. Those young people do a pretty funny job with it.
Yeah, they do. They have fun.
Also, we see Elaine. She kind of wants to go back in, but her pride is telling her to stay away. Even Radha is like, "You can go in if you want," and she's like, "I'm good. Get out of here." We see D. D is at a cipher session, and he's just like, "Yo, what are you talking about, yo? What are you talking about? You sound like that white guy that was imitating Eminem. The plan. Like you just
that guy turned
stop.
out to be kind of a creep.
So, okay. So D shows up to Radha's rehearsal, and he's like, "Look, you coming with me?" And they drive to, I guess, the Bronx.
Yeah, they go to the Bronx.
To a
the place she said that I thought I would end my night and my life at some point, which is hilarious.
They go to the Bronx for this underground Queen of the Ring rap battle, and we see 4 women, and they going around and doing what poets do.
The show was brutal. I want no parts of that ever.
This is like the weirdest. This is like the weirdest thing ever, right? Because these people are like just spouting off the most aggressive poetry that I've ever heard in my entire life, right? Like, and you gotta like have a rap voice too, because I guarantee you, like if any one of them just like starts talking regularly, like they just sound 100% normal. But this woman in the black,
yeah,
she sounds like a Mexican macho man. Like she's just this shit is wild, man.
Like I kind of love this. I love rap battle scenes in movies like that. I thought at first they were gonna have Radha go up there. I was like, don't do that. Don't do that. Like, yo, she could get murdered in there, yo. Like
I would have turned that movie off. I would be like, guys, I can't finish it.
Oh, don't say yo again. Like there's a scene after the first woman finishes rapping and everyone's like, oh, the bell rings or whatever, there's literally a guy in the crowd just making this face. God damn. Like he was just like, Jesus Christ. He looks like a great value Drake in the audience. But no, I like a good rap battle scene. It's very good.
I think the second set of rappers were better than the first, but that's just my opinion. The woman with the hijab and the woman in the camo.
Was the woman who's the one who's spouting all the super transphobic stuff?
I don't know. She was oops. No, she was the one, maybe. She was the one talking about like how Norma Bates, the one in the camo, was like basically popular because of like her body and the way she looked. I didn't one of them Norma Bates
said some stuff, and I was like, well, it is this area. New York.
Look, let's get real. These women ain't actors, yo.
Give me Harlem Ave. You wanted Harlem Ave.
This is Harlem Ave. Yeah, it is. But these women are real rappers, yo. Like, this is not some bullshit.
They were not acting. No.
They just went there and they were like, can we film? They were like, yeah, bet. Go ahead. So, fuck it. Like, yeah, it was, I thought Norma Bates was all right. Sorry.
I'll say this. It was a good scene because what's his name was looking at Rod and I was like, oh.
Yeah, he was looking all right.
Yeah, he was looking, boy. He was when they got out of there, he was like, I'm here for you for whatever you need. Whatever you need.
Yeah, which is I guess which is Bronx talk. Like a nigga from the Bronx who don't talk a lot, that's Bronx talk for, I mean, you know. Like that's all I was.
The way she looked at the camera, I was like, get it, girl.
Get it.
And she was just like,
all right, I guess.
All right. So, Rhoda's a pedophile. No. Like that, she passes the happy age plus 7 rule.
Yeah, she all right. She in the clear.
She's all right. She's in the clear. You really liked her because he's a black dude who did some shit that even Batman won't do.
Batman and DJ Khaled, they don't go down the I don't do that.
Oh God.
If you're a grown man, you don't go down on your girl. You're a fucking clown. Shut up. Grow up. I believe the woman should serve the king. That's what that's what DJ Khaled literally said. What if she say she don't do that? Nah, that don't work. That nigga's a piece of shit.
So D at one point asks Radha why she wears a head wrap, and now that it has been spoken,
or something?
Now that it has been spoken out into the ether, it becomes Chekhov's head wrap. So eventually we'll see it come off.
Yes.
And they start, so after they spend the night together, they start opening up about their lives as struggling artists and the way they're coping with the recent loss of their mothers. And D is like, so when we doing this mixtape? And Radha's like, nah, I gotta work on my play. And he's just like, damn, I thought you was really serious, but I guess not. It's just another terrain trip for you. You're not like really serious about it. Like, all right, bet. Dead ass.
B.
Timberland.
Chopped cheese or whatever New York terms.
And the bum is like, oh shit, you got some dick. You got your back blown out. Congratulations.
Yo, that dude is hilarious.
We see a quick scene of the black producer at his theater house, and he gets notified that Harlem Ave is being produced, and it will be directed by Julie Lipschitz because we need to pick the whitest name we possibly can.
Mm-hmm.
And
did you notice who was on stage? Who that was on stage?
It looked like Snoop.
Yeah, it's
like
not
a Latin Snoop.
Yeah,
No,
that's
it's-
what I thought. Like,
No, it's
where-
young.
where-
It's
where are
young
they
Ma.
from?
It's young Ma.
I don't know
Oh.
rappers, guys.
Ooh.
Okay.
Yeah, young Ma.
I don't
She was
know
in it.
rappers.
She was in it for a second earlier. I meant to mention it. Like, I like young Ma. Like, she's a very good female rapper. So it's kind of cool she was in this. That's dope.
We see like a Entertainment Tonight type of interview.
This shit was funny.
Yeah, because this dude was just like rude as shit, right? Like he was like, so last week saw you were Broadway's 30 for 30 under 30 for watch. What have you been doing this past decade?
She was just like, damn, nigga. Like, go fuck yourself.
And she's being as kind as she can, but like, you know, like what the fuck, yo? Like what? Why are you asking me these questions like this, yo? Like fuck you, like fuck you for real, yo. I heard you're collaborating on his Ida B. Wells musical. I'm just like, yo, what is this dude doing? Yo?
Yeah, he's like, let me take every black person and just shit all over their history for cash. Like, Ida B.
Swear to
Wells.
God, yo.
You're not trying to see an Ida B. Wells musical produced by Lin-Manuel Miranda.
Is she actually going to be black?
Nah, just all light skinned Latin folks.
Okay. All right. Then, yeah, sure. Whatever.
Yeah.
Stupid.
I mean,
Silly.
yeah, that shit was kind of
Should have known better, Lynn.
He should have known better, but I can't help but think, like, I've been to Washington Heights. It's like, I ain't seen no dark skinned Latin folks. I didn't, I'm just saying.
That's not what folks on Twitter are saying.
I only was
And I
there for a
believe
couple days. I was only there for a couple days.
See,
I'm just
look-
saying, it was
look
just,
at-
it,
look
no,
at
it was
you.
mad black people. It was mad
Look at
black
you
people, not mad black Latin folks.
Trying to talk about.
I'm
things
defending
for-
Lin-Manuel Miranda. That's what I'm doing. I'm just saying, I was in a very Dominican part of not a Haitian part, a very Dominican part of Washington Heights, and it was like, I was like, oh, there's plenty of black people up here. I hear no black people speaking Spanish.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to defend Hamilton. I'm kidding. I don't give a shit. Somebody sent me that. I was like, my cup of giving a fuck about things like this is full. I don't care. Like, I just don't. I don't care. I get it. You can be mad. I get it. It's just not my fight. It's not my fight. I can't be mad about everything.
Still should have known better.
He should have known. He apologized. Yeah, he didn't want that smoke from black people. Good. He should
Oh,
have
you
known.
one of them people? You one of them people, JR? That's just like, nope, you did one thing wrong. Now I'm never gonna support you ever again.
You're not gonna watch
No,
Hamilton
actually-
too?
You should have known better. You should have cast a black person and made them Afro Latino. If you couldn't find one, I'm never gonna look at anything. Yeah, I will retroactively hate Hamilton from now on because you didn't have a dark skinned person in the Heights. You one of them people?
So,
Yep.
no, I'm not one of those people.
Well, you said so. You didn't say no first. You said so. That means
But
yes.
about Hamilton, I thought it was okay. It was fine.
See?
It
Look,
was
look, how,
alright.
look how she did. How she did.
I will say, I believe the dark skinned black folks who had an issue, and I also saw someone say on Twitter that Lin-Manuel Miranda is the Tyler Perry for white liberals, and
That's ridiculous. I think
I was
that's
like-
ridiculous. Look,
I
I
thought
get
this
it.
was
You're
funny.
mad. I get it. You're mad. Calm down. Like, come on, man.
What does that even mean?
Like,
that he only caters to a certain
all right.
section of progressive people.
But
Which
that's not a description of Tyler Perry though. Like,
Right.
no, people talk about Tyler Perry because he's bad. Lin-Manuel Miranda's not bad at his job. Like, come on, yo, don't do that. I get it. You're
if
mad
he
about
only
this one thing.
Like if he only caters
it.
to like light skinned Latinos or Latinx, then
Well,
that's
Micah-
comparison to Tyler
Come
Perry,
on, yo.
right?
Like, don't
well,
do that. That's ridiculous.
well, Micah, did he only put in light skinned people in the Heights?
Yo,
I haven't
Dr.
watched it.
Dre was in it.
Who?
The guy who played Dr. Dre was in it.
Who was Dr. Dre? What?
The guy who played Dr. Dre was in it. He ain't a light skinned dude.
Nah, it's not enough.
I don't know. Wait,
The guy who played Dr. Dre in that
Oh yeah, that dude.
the nigga from Walking Dead.
The nigga from Walking Dead. All right.
Black Jack Bauer.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, Black
Yes,
Bauer.
Black Bauer.
Yeah, Black Bauer.
Black
Yeah.
Bauer is in that movie.
Yeah, Black Kiff. Bliff.
Is he Latinx?
I don't know.
Okay, then.
He dark.
I gotta.
It's so funny. Look. I'm being.
assuming he
I'm,
is.
like,
I don't know.
Look. We're being dicks. But here's the thing: Black Latin folks, I love you, and you got every right to be mad. I just can't give a fuck about this. I can't. I'm sorry, yo. Every fight is not our fight. It's just not. It's like every fight's not my fight.
Look.
None of us are Afro.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not.
Latinx people.
That's what I'm saying.
So-
If it offends you,
You got every right to be
just,
offended.
I will be. I'll be there for you. I will.
I
be
can't
there for you
personally
in
be mad.
solidarity.
I will say
But-
this.
But
If you're
I'm
going
not
to-
gonna I'm not gonna get more mad about it than y'all are.
I mean,
I was just like, damn, that's fucked up.
I would say if you're going to do this, train your actors to talk about it, because that one chick from Vita was like, I saw a lot of Afro Latinx people audition, but they just they gave the roles to people who just were who were the most qualified, and
Don't do that. That's a terrible answer,
she
yo.
said that, and
That's
I
a
was like,
terrible
oh, no.
answer.
I was like,
Oh.
I was like, damn, girl, like they didn't tell you they didn't tell you to just throw the studio under the bus, throw Lynn and them under the bus.
Yeah, he got it. He got enough money. He gonna
But
be all right.
she was on something like, yeah, and there was it's such a melting pot. We had the dancers and basically all the background folks. I'm like,
I mean,
Yep.
Leslie Odom Jr. He was in Hamilton.
Is he
we talking about this.
No,
though.
but I'm saying he was in Hamilton though.
we talking about this.
No,
though.
but he was in Hamilton. He was in Hamilton. He was
Go
the main
defend
character. He was Aaron
Yeah,
Burr.
John Leguizamo he's on this kick about boycotting the Oscars or any like big award show because there are no Latin people who are getting recognized, and people are like, well, what about Gerald Jerome? And
He was like, I don't know that nigga.
he was like, I don't know her.
Yo, see? Yeah, that's
like,
fuck. Look,
whoa.
there's fucked up shit. There's fucked up shit in that area too.
Yeah,
And that's
yeah.
what I'm saying. Every fight is not like I can't fight every one of them, yo. Like it's too.
I'm
many.
not. That's a young person's game, man.
Yeah, yo.
That's a young
That's how.
person's
That,
game.
look,
That's
look.
a tiara's game.
Yep.
like to just fight for everybody's right. I get it.
To party.
I understand.
Why are we putting
I
all this?
do.
Why are we?
Because
putting
you
all
the
this-
youngest
all
person.
this-
You represent
all
all
this
women and
labor-
all young
Okay,
people.
sorry, I'm sorry, but I think we need to have a conversation
No.
about Micah putting labor on the shoulders of black women.
Labor on the shoulders of black women.
because black women are stronger than black men. That's why.
No,
Don't do
go,
that,
no. Go ahead, and tell me you're wrong. Go ahead, and tell me you're wrong. See,
that's easy.
Here's the thing.
That's easy.
We always have to be strong. Why do we always have to be strong? Why we also didn't have a conversation
don't have
about
to be strong.
about Michael perpetuating the dangerous stereotype of the strong black woman. We have always had to be strong and durable.
You don't have to be strong.
for you
can be-
people.
you
Why
can
don't
be-
why don't you do your job, black man, the one who has all the world experience? Why not you? How about you use that experience to improve the world? Talk about it's my game. It's your game too.
Okay, I agree with you.
This
We
is,
should
by
follow
the way,
the religious text and say that there's a hierarchy: God, man,
God
woman,
isn't real.
below man,
No.
and then children.
Wow.
Do you want it that way? Do you want it that
I
way?
am the most.
by the way, this
I
is
think-
all of our pre-show ridiculous conversations. Our fake fights. It's hilarious.
First of all, it's debatable whether he's real. In my opinion, he is not. So I don't recognize your hierarchy. But I will say that we need to have a
How
conversation.
very strong
about-
of you. How very strong.
You are. We also need to have a conversation about how you use a religion to try to oppress me
Oh,
as a black woman. So
As an atheist, I'm just eating my popcorn watching this. This is great. This is great.
told y'all Michael bullies me.
Look. She broke him. Look, that's why he's coughing. She broke him. God
I
damn.
win.
I won. No, I mean,
like I said, you stronger. than me.
No.
see? That's fucking hilarious. You too. I swear to God.
Where are we?
I don't
I have
know.
no idea.
She's yelling at her
Are we
Asian
at the
friend.
end?
She's yelling at her Asian
we're getting
friend.
we're getting ready to kind of kick this in overdrive. So, but there's a scene here. There's a conflict here that I want to talk about, and it's between Archie and Radha, and this is, Radha is like, she's struggling because she's like, I can't, like, this play isn't even mine anymore. And Archie says, don't worry, the next one will be yours. And she's like, yo, that's a fucked up response, man. And they get into it, right? Like, she accuses him of, only wanting her to succeed so that he could succeed. He is accusing her of being a bit of a hypocrite, and is like, look, you can't, this is what you got to do to make it. And she doesn't want to compromise her vision. And the two of them are accusing each other. You're right. Like he even is like, yo, I had to tickle this man's balls. And then the movie just goes and shows in color, by the way.
Right. Not even black or white.
Two wrinkly balls just being literally tickled. Yo. Like, all right.
I missed that part.
Get out of here with that.
Oh no, you can rewind it. Go ahead.
I can't. Sorry, I lost the remote.
Oh damn. I lost the remote. I broke the remote.
She basically, she at one point says that, you tells him that he's trying too hard to be something that he's not, right? She's authentic and he's trying too hard to be something that he's not, kind of yellow checking him. And I don't know if that's a term that Asian people use, but, she's questioning in a roundabout way. She's saying that he's trying to be something that he's not. And he's just like, yo, fuck you, yo. Like, I'm Korean. I'm gay. I'm a lot of things. And it's just, I got my own shit to deal with. This is a really, really interesting conversation that these two have, man.
She was his beard in high school.
Yeah, she was his beard, right?
I don't know if that's okay to. If the people still say that, I'm so sorry. I don't hope I didn't offend anybody.
I don't know. That is what it is. I don't think it's offensive. Like,
okay.
I don't.
If it is, I'm sorry. Feel free to correct me.
I'm not going to watch In the Heights. Anyway. Yes. And if Tiara is wrong, we should
all that goodwill you just built up about being that strong black woman and defeating this black man, you just lost it.
Right. That's how easy it goes. That's how easy it goes. It's almost like it's fucking meaningless. It's almost like that. And people shouldn't hold any credit to it. No, look, there's not enough minority on minority conversations like this, right? Like intra minority conversations, right? Like we often have minorities talking to each other about white people, or just like one minority group talking about white people, or white people talking to minorities and stuff like that. But rarely do you get this sort of thing, which is this interesting mix of like what it is to be Korean and gay in his perspective, in her perspective as a black woman. Like that was really, I thought that was a powerful thing to sort of explore. And yeah, he's got his shit too, right? Like, and that idea of like, you just want to go on your fucking fancy trips and pretend not to be Korean and all this other stuff. It's like, nah, yo, fuck you. Like,
yeah,
you don't know what it's like. And look, this is a powerful like moment, because as much as we get to see all of the aspects of what she is going through, and Archie comes in from time to time in the movie and he's like, like well dressed. He's like got his shit together kind of guy, and he's like compassionate. And he's a nice guy and your friend. We don't know what Archie's going through, right? You get glimpses of it, like I had to let this guy graze my ass and all this other shit, but you don't know what it's like, what he's had to go through as well. So I think it's important, right? Because just as much as she was being kind of obnoxious to him about like, this is what you are, and let me tell you, what you're doing, he's trying to tell her, and they're both wrong, right? And
Right.
and it takes a moment later on where he says the right words, which is, I understand, I get it, right? Like, and look, I don't watch the show anymore because I'm an adult. But like, I remember there was an episode dealing with race on South Park, which is like, one of the more silly shows, but sometimes they have like really good points. And like one of the characters was talking to the black character named Token. Funny. And, that's his name. And they were like, oh, we're going to have a race war and all this other stuff. And the one kid was like, hey man, like, I get it. This is fucked up. I'm sorry. And Token was like, thank you. That was it. That's all I needed. Like, I didn't need you to do all this extra shit just to be like, I get it. Like, I get it that I don't get it because I'm not you. That's it. And that's the important part between the two of them. So yeah, I thought it was good. I like explorations like that. They're important.
Montage of quiet contemplation as Radha walks to her mother's apartment. She meets her brother.
Is that really her brother in real life? Because that dude looks just like her.
That's her brother.
Is it? Okay.
Like in one of the pictures, you can see he's in the picture with their actual mother.
Oh, okay. That's dope.
She reflects on her mother's career as a struggling artist. She is surprised and encouraged to see that her brother views her mother as a talented Renaissance woman rather than a failure. We cut to the school one last time, and Radha sees that Elaine is kind of lingering on Rosa, and she puts it together like, oh, the reason she was at odds with Rosa is because she kind of likes Rosa because she's a lesbian,
right?
And she tries to explain it, and or she tries to impart some advice, and basically the children's stuff, the kids stuff gets resolved.
Yeah.
In this scene. Radha, it's opening night. Archie gave her a call. She's like, hey, are you gonna come to this thing or what? You let me know, call me back. Radha is contemplating whether or not she should. She goes talk to the homeless guy, and the homeless guy, she gives him a sandwich. The homeless guy is like, but you want me to be your magical Negro?
Yeah.
Like, get the fuck out of here and put some fucking mustard on this sandwich next time.
Yeah.
You're trying to cheat me from the inside.
Yo, he said, do me a favor, put mayonnaise on both pieces of bread on this dry ass bread because you're trying to cut my throat from the inside. The slow way or some shit like that. Like, that dude was funny, man. Like, he was very good.
He was. Look, it's opening night of the play. We see the play. The play is a hit for its audience, right? Like, you see all these old people out there. They not just old people, but like it's a diverse group of people out there. And Radha is there, but she hasn't walked into the theater yet. Because she can't bear to look at, her work because it's not her work anymore.
Right.
The play's a hit. Standing ovation. The producer and the director come up and they're like, hey, couldn't have done it without our playwright. So where's Radha? Radha comes out, takes the stage. She's like, thank you to the cast. Thank you, everybody. And I don't have specifically what she says, but she says something to the effect of, my mother raised me to be fearless. And when she died, all that fear kept coming back. And, but I ain't scared to tell y'all that, this play was a piece of shit and I fucking hated it. And then she literally does the transformer noise because she's literally transforming into Rodimus.
That part I was not a fan of.
Yeah. I mean, because it didn't even sound like the transformer noise. She was like,
I was just like, I was like, what is she doing? I was like, oh God. Oh God, oh God
That's what I thought too. I was like, the embarrassment's back. It's coming back. I can't live through this again.
And then she starts freestyling and then literally drops the mic and walks off.
Yeah.
Because she's just like, fuck this, man. Like, And the kids were like, yeah, that's our teacher.
Yeah, fuck this. Wait, what?
Yeah, fuck this. Stay true to yourself, kids. That's stay true to yourself in the artistic vision. And keep worrying about where your next meal is coming from. She meets up with Archie. Archie's like, I get it. I really do. And at the same time, she's like, you're fired and I quit. Which is the best thing for the friendship.
Yep.
And
also he's wearing more of like a more Asian inspired clothing under his suit jacket. I don't know if you noticed that, which I thought was interesting.
No, I didn't notice.
Yeah, it's like more like almost like a kimono type like design, which I think might have been his way of being like maybe a little bit of truth of like trying to avoid the whole Korean thing. Like, you know what? Maybe she's a little right. And so kind of putting that a little bit forth. I thought was kind of cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Movie ends with her meeting up with D and the producer, and they go walk to a bodega. He steals a bag of Funyuns for her, and
is that a New York City proposal? That's a Brooklyn proposal. So y'all get down over there.
And they walk together into the night, him beatboxing, her rapping, and the film goes from black and white to color, illustrating her acceptance as to what she where she is in her life right now.
Yeah.
Her life literally goes from being colorless to being vibrant, as vibrant as she is.
There you go. Beautiful.
It's actually the way it's done is very subtle because there's not a lot of color in the scene. It's just a little bit. So as like they're walking, you can see like the purple in her dress and the red in the background stuff. Yeah, it's actually really well done. Yeah,
Loved it.
Yeah, 10 out of 10, 20 out of 20, whatever you want to hear. It was great.
Watch it.
Yeah, you should. Yeah.
Really underrated. I'm not surprised, but I'm kind of upset this wasn't like out there more. And I think I won an award too, which is great.
If Rotten Tomatoes matters to you, it's got a 98% critic score.
Wow.
And a 71% audience score.
Audience.
Some white people watched it, didn't they?
They were like, I want to see the play. That play looks cool. What about the soy milk? That's hilarious.
So yeah, this is a great film.
It is.
And this is a feature film debut, guys. So I look forward to seeing more of what Radha Blank has in store, because this was great.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, that's it for us. This is episode 201 for the 40-year-old version. We'll be back next week for another preview episode.
Tiara and I do not hate each other, folks.
No, Micah is like
an older brother to me. Yeah, I'm like, I get it.
They do hate each other, and this is all Micah trying to clean it up so he doesn't get yelled at.
You actually are. You'll be 30. You're younger than my sister. My sister's got you beat by like a year. So there you go.
And I remember when that nigga couldn't come outside because he had a babysit. So I can't.
Y'all are old.
I know that was like 100 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah,
that was back when rap was good. It was crazy.
Wow.
All right, we will see you guys next time.
See you.
Bye.
You're watching the Black on Black Cinema YouTube channel. Make sure you check out our full reviews of black movies, past and present. And every other week, we do a preview episode where we talk about a random topic that affects the black community.